Hello Year 5 and welcome to your DT lesson this week with me, Mr. Flatt. Now what I'd like you to do this week is pretend that you are me. So basically I would like you to come up with a new DT project for us to teach at Maiden Beach. So I want you to pretend that you are a teacher and you need to come up with a project that can be taught to either individual people or students or to a group of students. So it could be a group project or a project you do on your own. It's entirely up to you. You need to think about what facilities we have available to us. So you need to think about what we got in the workshop, what tools we can use, what machines we can use, and all the different equipment and materials we have available to us. So you've got to keep your project realistic for us to be able to make it. So what I don't really want you to do is design a space rocket which can take you to Mars. Well, okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, I wouldn't mind doing that myself. But actually, have we got technology and engineering skills to do it just yet? Probably not. A couple of years' time, maybe. Who knows? Okay, so it's got to be a realistic project. And you never know, you might be a budding young DT technician, okay? Or you might even inspire me to do a project which you have designed and created for the DT department. Alright? So, you've got to really think today, and what I do to help me think is I like to put my little brain beanie on, okay? And that helps me generate a bit more brain power so I can really start thinking about things now. So, some of the questions you will need to think about for your DT project are as follows. You need to name it. You need to give your project a name. And you know from our first project, which you did in the autumn term, we did a door hanger project, okay, where you designed and made a door hanger, okay, something you can hang on your door. Now, I called it a door hanger project. Is it very exciting? Doesn't sound very exciting, but it does explain exactly what the project's all about. In Year 6 we make the block bots, okay, so we do a block bot project. So perhaps you can create a name for your project with a bit of alliteration in the title, such as block bot, okay, it flows and it sounds a bit more fun, doesn't it? So you need to think of a creative name for your project. You then need to think about which year group are going to make it. So if it's going to be quite a simple thing to make, which the door hangers were quite simple, okay, perhaps you could aim it as a Year 5 project. So this was quite a nice project to introduce to you to get you used to some of the machines and tools which we used. Or if you want to make it a bit more technical, such as the bird box project, which we do in Year 8, then aim it at a higher year group. Okay, this is a bit more technical because we've got different wooden joints being created to actually join the materials together, such as dovetail joints or comb joints, and we can decorate it using natural resources. We've got lots of drilling, lots of cutting, lots of sticking, lots of joining, okay, which we need to think about. So that's a bit more technical. So if you wanted to design a bird box project, then you maybe might aim it at a higher year group. So think about who's going to be making your project. You then need to think about what materials. So you need to think, well, if it's something like the stationery holder which we do in Year 8, is it going to be made from wood, but also a combination of metal? And can we be even more specific? Can we say whether it's going to be metal, is it going to be made from aluminium? Or if it's wood, is it going to be made from a block of pine? So think about the materials. Perhaps you might want to make one from textiles, where we look at different fabrics, such as the paperweights in Year 7 and 8. Okay, so think about the materials. It could be a range of different materials, such as a clock project, which we do in Year 7, where we can really experiment with using lots of different materials and adding them to our design to make it really creative and imaginative. We also need to think about what tools and machines and equipment are required. So, are we going to use tools such as a disc sander, which you use to curve the edges? Are we going to use the pillar drill to drill the holes for the rope to go through? Are we going to use different saws to actually cut and shape the blocks into the size we want? We need to think about all these different things before we design our projects, okay? We also need to think about how the students will make it. So is it going to come with a set of instructions? So if anyone wanted to make it at home, they would know how to go about doing it. Okay, so perhaps you could design some instructions on how to make it. Or even, so that you don't have to listen to me blabber on all the time, you could have a set of instructions so people could start working straight away in the classroom if they feel confident to do so. So think about how it can be made. You also need to think about why you have chosen your project. So you could think of things like, I've chosen to make this design project because actually birds need somewhere to live all year round, especially in autumn and winter months, so therefore a bird box is really useful. Perhaps the textile project is a really good one because actually it teaches you how to stitch buttons on. And perhaps one day your button might come off your shirt and you want to know how to stitch a button onto your shirt. Or even stitch your trousers up if they rip. It can be very embarrassing, so having those skills, okay, could be quite useful later on in life. So it might be that you're teaching someone how to do a life skill. Some of these projects are really good because actually they teach you little processes on how to use screwdrivers accurately and how to put a screw in to different materials. So think about why you have chosen this particular project which you're going to design. Perhaps it could be the little tea light holders, and actually these make really nice little decorations or gifts for Christmas time, where we look at different hardwoods and softwoods and people can shape the designs to however they want them to look. So think about why we're going to want to make it. And you also need to think about what the students are going to learn along the way. Okay, because obviously we do all these projects to enable you to learn different things, whether it's learning how to shape woods using saws, okay, such as a block bot, whether it's then learning how to not just shape a particular piece of wood or material, but then how to finish it to get a nice neat finish, such as the nib on the pencil design here, okay, using a disc sander. Or perhaps you learn how to decorate things and you learn which colour schemes work well together, which materials work well together or look good aesthetically. Aesthetics describes the look and the appearance of something. So there's lots of things you need to think. It could be that you teach students how different mechanical movements work, such as the automators which we do in Year 7. We turn the cam using a handle, and when the cam turns, it then operates a mechanical movement, and Homer Simpson is sort of bobbing up and down, and I don't know if you can see very well, but he's dreaming of this donut which is just spinning around. So how's that spinning around? Well, we learn about different systems, such as a pulley system on the back, which is connected by an elastic band, which is a belt. So we can also learn about different movements. And it enables us to learn more about different materials as well, such as headphone stands, where we look at composite materials. Composite materials are materials with more than one element, okay? And in this case, we've got a concrete here, which is a combination of water and cement. So we look at composite materials, as well as obviously shaping wood and metal and other materials as well to go with it. So here's a few examples of some of the stuff we do and some of the projects we make. These are the projects which we've designed over the years here to engage you in your learning and make you want to take part and enjoy design technology. So now it's over to you to come up with your own project which you would like taught here at Maiden Beach. And like I say, if you do a really good job, then you may inspire me to teach your project. Okay? And I think I'll put a reward out there if anyone does manage to do that. Okay? So, enjoy this task, have fun with it, be creative, be imaginative, think what sort of things you would like to make, and think how you then adapt them into a project which we can teach here. Okay, rightio Year 5, I'll see you next week for your next DT lesson. From me and from Brain Beanie, goodbye.